I was wrestling for Zero One. Zero One. It was a fairly new company that was an offshoot of New Japan. So I had some really good wrestlers, and Steve Carino was booking the Gaijin at the time, along with Rick Bassman was my connection. I love Carino too. I love his sister. I love his son. Uh, yeah. So I was out there in Zero One wrestling as Leonardo Spanky because Hashimoto thought I looked like Leonardo DiCaprio. Um, and so
Not
they
a
put
bad
me in.
thing, bro. That's not
It's
a
not a
bad
bad
thing.
thing. It's not a bad thing. Hey, it could be a lot worse. Because I'll tell you, Regal's son, who's now with the WWE, but as a young man, said I looked like the guy from the Warriors with the bottles. And that's not nearly as complimentary,
Yeah.
Warriors. That doesn't. He's not nearly as handsome as. Yes, I'll take DiCaprio. Um, but so, dude, I was wrestling. I was getting to wrestle Takaiwa, who I think is a genius. Or Otani, who I think um is up there with Shawn Michaels as far as being able to feel a guy and watching a guy sell on screen. And even though it's preposterous, you still you feel them. And I don't know, like I really loved my time out
How long were you there for?
there. That so I did four four or five tours before getting signed to that TV contract. And when I left, I did about a year and a half. So maybe 15 tours in that time, something like that.
And then you go back. So did you go to TNA and then WWE?
I did a couple of shows for TNA, but not under contract or anything. And then got a call from Paul. Uh, he said that G Malenko was looking to get a hold of you. Would you be interested in coming back? Well, in the meantime, Japan, we'd been talking about a contract, a really low end contract, but just something that would be on paper, and they couldn't deliver. So I went back, and then Paul and I formed a team again, and we're off and running.
Talk to me about teaming up with Paul.
Yeah, it was awesome, man. He so really it's just kind of the classic, the young fresh baby face tag team, the exciting guys. Um, and so that's what Paul and I would provide. Paul really did provide it. He did death defying moves. I've always called myself a fake high flyer. Um, he would actually do like a shooting star. I don't have the courage to do it or a 450, anything like that. Um, but we had a fast dynamic, and we were young and getting to see the world together. It was great. It was a lot of fun, and whenever I do a signing, at a convention or anything like that, when chatting with wrestling fans, that seems to be the time of my career that they enjoy the most. Was the time that Paul and I spent together.
How did you find out you were winning the tag belts?
We found out that day when Ted DiBiase apologized to Joey and Morrison that they had to take the belts off of them because of an upcoming suspension. And so we were we were told as we were getting ready to put together the match, uh, finding out because they didn't. Look, guys, we didn't want to do this, but our hands were tied because we had to suspend you. And so I remember, and it could be in my head, but I remember Paul and I looking at each other like, what the hell, man? Like, you could have said this before we walked into the room, pretended you were happy for it. Yeah, anyways, that's how we
Or just
found out.
or just don't say it.
Just
What the
don't say it.
hell?
Just don't say it. Just don't say it. Yeah, but
It's not because we love you and Paul, Brian. It's because these other guys screwed up.
that was
Congratulations.
exactly it.
Oh
And we're
man.
really sorry. We know you screwed up, and we're sorry. We have to punish you. We wish we didn't have to, but we do. So we have to
And
take
the
the belt
worst
off.
part is you're losing to these guys.
That's right. Yeah. If we'd have known, we would have rebooked this whole program. Yeah.
Oh
Oh,
man.
man.
That's
Yeah.
funny. You know, what I found fascinating about your tag team run is you guys were so exciting. You were these fight from underneath baby faces, and they had nobody lined up for you guys really to work with. They didn't have like a lot of teams at the time.
Yeah, they just don't. They come to find out later when touring Titan Towers and ultimately talking with Shane McMahon, I asked, this place has got a bunch of wrestling stars all over the walls, but I don't see any tag teams. And he says, well, not since Legion of Doom have I found myself interested in tag team wrestling.
Oh,
Being
wonderful.
Shane, and like, oh, damn, we're doomed. Because we are currently your tag, um, but that was it. It just wasn't a featured thing, and even I guess in the South when it was hot, I don't know if there was five legitimate teams at any time. Maybe there was, but in WWF there never was in my career. WWE there was never five tag teams on a show.
You remember I had remember Boris Zukov?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Yeah, I was talking to him previously, and we were talking about those Survivor Series matches, and they had
Mm.
5 babyface teams and 5 heel teams. I mean, tag team wrestling used to be such a huge part. It's one of the reasons why I fell in love with wrestling. Yeah,
It's
I love
it's
tag team wrestling.
I do too. And the thing about tag team wrestling that makes it different from a singles match or anything else, there's a very clear objective, that we know that when he gets to that partner, that we know what we're going for, and it builds towards that. We're in a singles match or whatever. When these moments turn around, we don't know when they happen until they've happened. But in a tag match, the goal is to get to your partner who can help you out of this jam. And when he does, the crowd erupts if you build it right, and it's beautiful. And it only happens in tag wrestling. Yeah.